Jacinta Nasimiu recently turned 21. This is usually considered a major feat in life, and many young women her age would be throwing parties with friends to mark her 21st birthday. Things are different though for Jacinta. A big birthday party is not in her mind. Far from it, Jacinta has 3 little children to take care of.
I wish to raise the 3 children I already have, but my husband says another baby will be a blessing from God.
Many communities in Kenya believe that a woman should have as many children as possible because it is the will of God. With 3 children to take care of, and with she and her husband both working menial jobs to make ends meet, the family is already beginning to feel the financial strain.
I run a small grocery shop and my husband works at a construction site. I wouldn't want to have another child, but it's not up to me to decide.
Jacinta's situation is just one among the 42% of Kenyan women who do not use contraceptives. For many of these women, misconceptions, myths, and religious beliefs regarding family planning, as well as dissuasion from their partners, hinder them from using contraceptives. This was the underlying message a few weeks ago when the National Council for Population and Development, NCPD, in partnership with the Ministry of Planning and Devolution and the Interreligious Council of Kenya, IRCK, launched a joint presentation on ways to rein in on the country's ballooning population.
The key point of the presentation is to ensure that there is healthy timing of births for the good health of the mother, child, and the family at large. We believe that the religious leaders have a big role to play in making sure that our families are well managed for the welfare of this country.
The population is growing at 2.9% annually, which translates to about 1 million babies born every year, while the economy is growing in the range of 4 to 5% every year. The implication is that the growth in economy cannot sustain a high population growth rate.
Statistics show that every year, close to 500,000 women and girls procure unsafe abortions owing to the country's restrictive laws on abortion. This contributes to 20% of the total maternal deaths in Kenya. The government has put some measures in place in order to make contraceptives accessible to women. Keegan Bartilol is the head of family planning at the Ministry of Health.
The government actually put 790 million as a line budget for the purchase of contraceptive commodities. This plus other partners who support us, we've been able to actually purchase contraceptive commodities.
The government even developed the National Planning Implementation Plan 2010 to 2015 to reposition family planning with the National Development Agenda. However, budget allocations towards family planning and contraceptives over the last 3 years have been constant at 575 million shillings allocated towards procurement of contraceptives and 52 million shillings allocated towards distribution of the same. This is nowhere near enough for the growing population, which then increases the number of women who need contraceptives. With this unmet contraceptive need for many women, more needs to be done if the country is to reduce the high number of unsafe abortions, which in several cases lead to death. As the world prepares for the United Nations Summit in September this year, where heads of state and government will choose the next set of global development goals called the Sustainable Development Goals SDGs, which will cost $2.5 trillion in funding, the world's top economists believe that governments need to prioritize on the smartest goals. According to global think tank Copenhagen Consensus that conducts research on the smartest way to make the world better, picking the best targets can triple the benefits, especially for the world's poorest nations. This means, in the case of Kenya, for instance, every shilling spent towards achieving universal access to contraceptives will do 120 shillings of social good. Dr. Ignatius Kibe, a reproductive health expert based in Nairobi, says it's time government doubles efforts to save the lives of women and girls.
The onus on the government. It's very expensive to sustain the cases of abortions that we get per year. We must help the girl.
For KBC English Service, my name is Julia Wanjiko.